In Texas, a change in textbook standards that could affect the rest of the country. At a meeting last night, the state school board voted to correct what some called a liberal bias in the way history is taught. NBC's Rahima Ellis has been following this story and joins me now to talk about it. Good morning. This is interesting stuff for parents of kids.
It really is.
Yeah.
It was a real Texas showdown, if you will, and the vote came after months of tense debate and even efforts to make over 200 amendments this week alone to the Texas textbook standards. Take a look.
The Voting Rights Act of 1964.
In Texas public schools, this curriculum is headed for a major rewrite. For weeks, there have been rallies and heated discussions about how history, geography, and social studies should be taught.
I feel that I have let down the students in our state.
Every 10 years, the powerful State Board of Education votes on a new curriculum, and this time the strong conservative bloc is pushing to correct what it sees as a liberal bias.
I'm really pleased to to move it to the balance. We have not swung it to the right. Swung it to the middle.
But critics say the board is whitewashing history.
We may not be completely proud of all the things that took place in our history, but history is history.
Here are some of the proposed changes. Textbooks must now include mention of the conservative resurgence of the 80s and 90s, the National Rifle Association, the moral majority, and include the idea that our founding fathers may not have intended a separation of church and state. Even some vocabulary would change. The word imperialism would be replaced with expansionism in describing America's land acquisitions. And the expression slave trade would be changed to the Atlantic Triangular Trade. Some critics see that as a move to deny slavery.
This is a radical group that wants your kids to learn what they want to tell them and not what actually happened. And that should be of concern to all of us, regardless of party.
The school board sets the standards for the nearly 5 million Texas public school children. But traditionally, the board's influence has extended far beyond the state because their books are often sold nationwide at an attractive price.
The real danger is that these standards will stand regardless of how many textbooks include these standards, and will stand as a very potentially dangerous precedent for other states and other school districts to follow.
And historians say that the real problem they have with this is that they believe that textbooks should be prepared by educators and teachers and not politicians, that it shouldn't be a conservative or liberal bent on history. It should just be the history itself. These changes that they voted on yesterday in Texas, they should show up in textbooks in that state by 2013.
I agree. Politicians have nothing to do with the way history is, recorded. I mean, that's just the way it is.
At least one legislator in Texas is saying that they're going to try to make an effort to rein in the ability of the school board members who are elected in Texas to have as much power as they do.
Interesting stuff. Thank you, Rahima Ellis. Appreciate that.